introduce our research on public opinion keyword vector for social sentiment analysis research. And the first author is Professor Yuanqing Zhang, and the second author is me, Fangyi Li, and third author is Junhong Chen. I hope you guys can enjoy my presentation today. And today we will talk about what and why of this research, and this is the outline. First, I will give a brief introduction of our intention and motivation of this research. Social media is very popular nowadays. I bet most of you at least have one social media account, right? Because of this popularity, it produces spectacular amounts of data and is very variable and important resource for people trying to understand the public opinions. So how do we know the general public opinion of a given topic? It's important to analyze the public opinion in order to understand how people feel about a given issues. One of the numerous applications of this technology is to understand the trend in political elections. A candidate can strategically utilize public opinion expressed on the social media to gain popular support by understanding the interest and sentiment of the voters. And I will give a practical examples, and the example from Taiwan, because I'm from Taiwan. And in the Taiwan Taipei mayor election, the candidate Dr. Wen Jiakao's campaign used public opinion analysis to determine the public favorite keyword, and most of the policies and activities were organized according to the interests of the younger voters. And utilize the public opinion then helped Dr. Ko win the election. So here we can see how powerful it is to analyze the public opinion. And I'm going to talk about the reader emotion. But first, I will introduce the sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is a significant area of the research in natural language process. Its purpose is to determine the attitudes and feelings expressed in words and their text. And it can be separated into two categories. One is writer emotion, and the other is reader emotions. Analyzing reader emotion is way more difficult than analyzing writer emotion, because you can see how people react directly after they're reading the text, right? So like here's an example. We can see the news title here. The gas prices are rising. And there's no emotional words in this title, right? But most public reaction will be negative. So recently in this research has been mostly focusing on the writer emotions, because few researchers targeting reader emotion classification with the entire compositions. Our paper is focusing on reader emotion with the social media short text. But why we are interested in doing this? Because the reader emotion is how the reader feels after reading the articles, and we treat the reader emotion as a public opinion, and this is sentiment analysis. So, as I mentioned, the social media is very popular nowadays, and it become a very valuable for public opinion to analyze. But unlike news articles, most of the contents of the social media consists of a short text less than 200 words, like Twitter or Facebook. Even when the news article and social media are discussed the same issues or same things, we have to treat them very differently, because the short text, lack of context of data, and the efficiency of the machine models are impaired. And let's talk about the structure of our research. Here is our research workflow. First, we collect the data from social media, then pre-processing it. Later, we insert keywords to represent our text and put those into a classifier and do public opinion classifications. And eventually, we can get the public opinion results. It's like positive or negative. And later, we also generate the visualizations to get further information from those opinions. I will go further details on each step later. So after we collect the data, we do the pre-processing, and we use the tool called MAMPA, developed by Academy Signica Intelligent Agent System Lab in Taiwan. And our data is Chinese, so the example here is in Chinese. You can see I wrote, "Hello everyone, I'm Fang Yili," and the results here from MAMPA. You can see like MAMPA do the segmentation and part of speech annotated name entity recognition at the same time. You see my name here, it recognized me as a person, PER. So later on, we remove the stop words in dataset. After doing the pre-processing, we do keyword extraction. We use positive and negative keyword to represent each task, and use the log likelihood ratio, or LLR for short, which is function you see at the top of the slide, to calculate the related degree of the positive and negative keywords. After the processing, we put the outcome into SVM. Sounds a little bit confusing, right? I will describe this more clearly later. You might wonder why we decide to use the keyword to represent a task. Because from the past research, keywords can effectively improve the efficiency of the task classifications. We extract top 100 words most related to emotion from the training data. Then we use those keywords to represent each task and put those into SVM to classify. Later on, we will do visualization and analysis. Our module can create keyword vector representing public opinion. Then, through the use of the word cloud visualizations, we can better understand the relationship between the issues and public opinions. We will see the word cloud later on. It's time to talk about our experiment results and the analysis. First, I will going to introduce the data sets we use for training. Our data set is Yahoo News. There's distribution plot here. And we can see here are A labels of feelings. You can see here A labels. But in this research, we are only interested about the public opinion is negative or positive. So we trade happy, warm, odd, and informative as a positive public opinion, and angry, boring, depressing, and worried as a negative public opinion. You guys might feel curious. How did we get those labels? Reader emotional labels. Did we read all articles and label them? It will be biased. The trick is that the labels is from readers themselves. Well, on the page, the articles display. There's an option for people to choose how they feel after reading it. It's pretty useful, isn't it? Then we took about 11,000 news as a training set and 35,000 news as a testing set. And we compare our method, POKE, with other classifiers methods, including naive-Bayes, decision tree, logistical regression, and lip-shot test. In positive public opinion, we obtained 78.7% recall and 84.3% F1 score. Even compared to third highest score decision tree, we obtained 43% more recall and 33.4% on precision F1 score. And how about the negative part? We obtained 47.4 precision and 56.7 F1 score. And also compared to the decision tree because it's third highest score. And we also obtained more, 21.2% more and 60.8% more. And how about the macro average and micro average? Our method is able to accomplish the highest score in all classifiers. So we can say that our method of learning positive and negative polarity words is really useful. Interestingly, we observe that the precision scores are commonly lower and the recall score are generally higher in the negative category. You can see here is commonly lower and is generally higher. The reason might come from the amount of the data you can see here. And we took this bias as the reason why the precision score are commonly lower and the recall score in negative perspective are generally higher. So this page is our visualization result. Green is positive public opinion and red is negative public opinion. The bigger the word, the stronger the emotion. Through the visualization, we can discover more relationship between public opinions and keywords. For example, it shows that the topic related to like sports, we see NBA, MLB, Miami Heat, French Tennis Open is positive. And also the social welfare terms like volunteer, love, and vulnerable group, and so forth are also correlated with positive public opinion. And something worth mentioning is that the political events frequently make people feel bad. We can clearly tell by the word cloud that the negative public opinion surrounded by the event related to the American beef. You see how big the word it is here. And the reason for this phenomenon is that at that time, the discussions on whether or not to import the American beef to Taiwan upset a lot of people and create extremely controversy and political unrest. So it brings a lot of negative public opinion. Okay. We have come to the end. Different from the past research, we proposed the novel method to analyze the public opinions, which comes from the different reader emotions and focusing on the social media and short text classification. And we propose the public opinion keyword embedding hope, and which outstanding classifying the public opinion. And we also analyze and visualize our public opinion results. In the future, we are looking forward to compare more classification methods and continually collect more social media data and conduct the analysis of public opinions. So thanks for your attention. I'm not so sure how much time I left for the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I will do my best to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. And can you tell about the details of the embedding?
Oh, you want to know the details? Can I give an example? Like you might curious about like how we combine the positive and negative, right?
Yeah.
So let me see. I do some more PowerPoints, but because of the time limitation, so it's after here. Let me forward a bit. Let me just turn like here. You can see the example, it's more clear. Like word 1, word 2, because we have like top 100 positive words and top 100 negative words, right? And like this text is an example, and we try to match them. And if we match with the positive, and we do like, here we use 300 dimensions, and word 1, they have vector 1, right? And they have their own LL as I mentioned. And we times V1, we V1 times LL1, and plus V2 times LR2, because there are 2 words, so we divide 2, and it will get the first vector of the positive embedding. So do the negative part. So 300 dimensions, positive and negative. And then we combine our public opinion keywords. It's 600 dimensions, and it's the text representation here.
And the word is extracted in the text and is predefined.
Predefined. You mean the keywords? The keyword is calculated by the LLR because LLR is the feature selection method in natural language process, and LLR is like the LLR score is more higher because it's more related to the emotion. So we select, as I mentioned, the top 100 words, yeah, in positive and negative. So we have the keyword list.
Thank you.
Feature selection.
Hey, there's the one.
The feature selection to select feature. So those.
Make the keyword right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I want to ask you how do you deal with some irony in your test text? Had you considered it?
What do you mean test to text and irony?
就是
You can say
irony in your test.
irony.
Yes.
Eh.
反语
Huh?
反语
Fanyu. Oh, yeah. As my sorry, I'm sorry. As I said the Monpa things
Maybe we can ask her later.
here.
I didn't.
I know. You guys might use 结巴 here, right?
Yeah.
And the Monpa, 结巴 is the method in Python to segment the task. And the Monpa is developed by the Academic Technica in Taiwan. So it's created for 繁语. 繁体是 traditional Chinese.
就是讽刺意味的话。
Oh, irony. Oh, we didn't consider that, but yeah, because here we do is like keyword extraction that like only positive or negative, and we have the label already. So we don't so we didn't consider the irony. Do you understand? Because we already know it's positive or negative. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, because of the time limit. Okay, so we need to stop speaking. Okay. Let's thank her again for her interesting talk.